Hey everybody, Glenn Fickard here with Secret Success Blueprint, where we inspire and instruct everyday people like me and you learn how to create your ideal life. A life full of joy and love and happiness and wealth and success, whatever success may mean to you. Hey, you're catching me on the road. I'm in the hotel today, but I'm doing this part 3 of these video series that we've been doing over the last couple of days. And remember, we're figuring out what one part of your life is possibly dragging you down. That if we can impact that part of your life, we can get your life more into balance. So let's dive right into part 3 of this exercise. All right, guys, we'll do a quick recap here. So we're talking about what part of your life is dragging you down. And on the first video, we did the following. In part 1 of this video series, we took our life right now. And you thought about these 8 categories in your life. And then you ranked your current satisfaction from a 0 to 10. And then we did this graph. And then you came up with something that looked like this. And we said, if this was a wheel on our car of life, how bumpy is our ride? And for a lot of us, that's a really bumpy ride. So now we want to work on smoothing that out. So the next thing we did was we analyzed the lowest rank items and we figured out what we could do with these. And we got to this exercise where we said, is there a domino effect? Is there one item that could possibly help us take care of some of the other items? And the example I was showing for this person, if they worked on personal development, they could help get career advancement by helping get their skills up and getting promotions at work. And then that would help their money situation because by advancing their career and getting promotions, they would then make more money. So in this particular example, we zoned in. Let's focus on personal development because ultimately we want to get the following effect. What we really wanted in this instance, if this person worked on getting their personal development up, getting it way up, way stronger, then the natural domino effect would be, maybe some career advancement, getting a promotion or a better job. And if that happened, then their money situation would improve. Well, I'm trying to make this as round as possible here. And the money situation would improve. And if that would happen, then maybe there's some specific food or diet things that they could improve, and then maybe their health would get a bit better. And they could go away on some weekends and their romance would get a bit better. Now with a little bit more money and maybe a little bit more time off from work, they could have more fun and the fun in life would improve. And with more money and a better career, maybe they could buy a new house, maybe they could fix up the house, maybe they could buy a little bit more furniture. And then spend a little bit more time with friends and family. And you see, the idea here is that although it's not perfectly round, life becomes more balanced. So let's dive in and start figuring out some specific action steps to start working on these areas of life so we can balance your life a little bit more. Okay, so now we want to analyze the improvement that we can do. We have our one item to work on. And in the example that we had, personal growth would lead to advancement at work, improve the career, would lead to higher wages or money. So now we want to answer some questions on this one item. And again, now we're focusing on just the one item we figured out would have the biggest impact on our life and that one item that would help us achieve some others. So the first thing to ask yourself is, what would your life look like if this item was a 10? Now again, don't go with the example I have. I'm just using personal growth as an example. For you, it could be your health, it could be your relationship, it could be your career, whatever it is. What would your life look like if this item was a 10? I just want you to picture that. Okay, next question. How would life be different if this was a 10? And this is going to be different for every single one watching this video right now because you're all working on different things. But how would life be different? In this example, personal development, if this person had to work on their personal development and now know that they have the power to achieve whatever goals they work on, then life's going to be different because they can achieve everything they've ever wanted. They can create their ideal life. They're going to get promotions at work. They're going to move forward in business. They're going to get their ideal body, whatever it could be. And then ultimately, you need to know, what does a 10 look like to you in that specific area? What does 10 look like? The next question is, what would you be able to do if it was a 10? And I know this is kind of similar to how would life be different, but now what to be able to do now that you couldn't do before? If you're working on your health and you're unable, you love hiking and you couldn't go on hikes, but you take care of this health issue and now you can go on hikes, and now you'll be able to do something that you love and interact with your family who love to go hiking. Every example is going to be different, but what would you be able to do if it was a 10? The next question to ask yourself, how would it be to spend an hour a day on this part of your life? How much growth would you experience? How much better would this part of your life be if you spent 1 hour a day working on it? And I know this sounds like quite a lot right now, so don't worry about the hour. We're going to kind of chunk that down and work our way into it. Okay, so these are just questions to analyze so that it gets easier to answer the next little phase, which we're going to go to now. And now this is the 48-hour action step. Now, please, I'm not saying you must take 48 hours to do this action step we're going to come up with. What I am saying is you need to start something towards achieving this next step within 48 hours. Because we want to employ something called the success cycle. The success cycle, that success builds confidence. Confidence creates activity. Activity creates habits of action. And those habits of action give you results, and that results are success. So I'm not trying to get you to go from a 3 to a 10 in the next 48 hours. I'm trying to come up with building momentum, finding one little baby step that you can do within the next 48 hours to build up that success cycle. Because once you achieve that little baby step, you're going to set the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and we're going to build up that success cycle. The important thing of this 48 hours is that you need to start it within the next 48 hours. Okay, so analyze your area. What one thing could you start in the next 48 hours? So example, I had this person, personal development. What one thing could they start? Maybe they decide, hey, they really heard about this amazing book, Think and Grow Rich, and that tomorrow they're going to go buy the book. Now notice, I didn't say they're going to read the whole book tomorrow. Tomorrow they're going to buy the book. Maybe this person heard, hey, there's an incredible new personal development product in the market called Secret Success Blueprint. Tonight, I'm going to order Secret Success Blueprint online. And I noticed I said, I'm not going to go through the whole Secret Success Blueprint tonight. I'm just going to order it. So what one thing could you start within the next 48 hours? Okay, next, when will you do it? You actually need to schedule it. So this person is like, okay, it's now 6 p.m. Before 7 p.m., I'm going to jump online. I'm going to go to secretsuccessblueprint.com/go, and I'm going to watch the sales video, and I'm going to buy that product. I'm going to do that at 7 o'clock tonight. Maybe if your action step is something to do with health, you could say at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm calling my doctor and scheduling blood work. You see how it's just a little baby step, and then you schedule it. This step needs to be something that you know, you need to know when it's done. So it's got to be very specific. At 9 o'clock, I'm calling the doctor. At 7 o'clock tonight, I'm getting on the computer and ordering Secret Success Blueprint. At 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, when Barnes & Noble's opens, I'm walking through the door and buying Think and Grow Rich. Something that you know it's done. And then look at your life. What could prevent you doing it? If you're going to go to the bookstore at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, but you have to run the kids to school, and you need to schedule around that. Look at your life and make some alternative plans, because you are now committing. You have said, I'm going to do this. You have made a decision. And if you don't follow through on your action right now, you're going to take yourself into a downward cycle. So you don't want that to happen. You need to make sure that you preemptively plan so that you get this done. And then the next thing you're going to do is do it. And the moment you finished it, then you're going to set another 48-hour action step. So if your step is to do something at 7 o'clock tonight and it's now 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock comes and you've done it, you're going to set another one. And when that's done, you're going to set another one. But it's so important that you do take this action within 48 hours. Guys, that's it. It's as simple as that. You are now going to take baby steps, 48-hour action steps at a time. Okay, don't forget, we've got some live training coming up this week, so make sure you register for it. It's coming up in a couple of days here. So go to secretsuccessblueprint.com/webinar and make sure you register for that. And then you'll get an email which tells you exact time and date of that live training. And make sure you get on that live training. I'm going to have a lot more time to dive into some incredible topics and give you guys a deeper layer of understanding on how to create your ideal life. Hey, I really look forward to seeing you in that live training, and I'll speak to you soon.